You're listening to the audio production of The Power of Belonging, Discovering the Confidence to Lead with Vulnerability, by Will Vanderhart and Rob Waller, published by David C. Cook and read by Will Vanderhart.
Are you looking for ways to improve your leadership, increase your influence, or gain authority? All great leaders are great learners, constantly trying to improve the way they lead others. And yet most of the leadership training we receive is external to us: vision, communication, management, strategy. But what if the greatest gift to your leadership was already yours? What if the power that you need to reach a new dimension of leadership was actually lying under a dirty sheet in your own basement? This book is a guide to enable you to uncover what we believe is already yours, the power of belonging. And yet this is not a simple journey. That dirty sheet is the shame that hides the most precious and powerful leadership messages we will ever know. The basement is often bolted and locked, lest anyone else realize that we are not as wonderful as we would like them to believe. Our stories seem to point in the opposite direction, away from vulnerability and towards learned strength. And so we need to face reality before we can find revelation. It is a struggle, but to uncover the reality of your belonging is to be transformed not just in your leadership, but in your life. My first church in northwest London had a problem with what I call Anglican damp, that sweet mouldy smell that lingers in so many historic church buildings. Wanting to make the church as welcome as possible, I set out trying my best to make the place smell better, and a toilet renovation project seemed like the logical place to start. However, even after installing brand new loos, new flooring, and even air fresheners, the unwelcome damp smell persisted. About 6 months later, I had conceded that Anglican damp was likely to be with me throughout my ministry, when, walking around the exterior of the building, I came upon a small locked door. It took some serious persuasion to get the key from the maintenance man who had claimed that it wasn't worth opening. But after exercising what little leadership I had, I found myself holding a stick in one hand and a torch in the other, ready to battle my way through the cobwebs. I was stopped abruptly after only 2 steps to find that the entire stairwell and basement beyond were completely flooded with putrid water. I notified the fire brigade, who later arrived on the scene to drain the water, but even with their industrial pumps, it took over 5 hours to clear. What remained was the rusty carnage of 90 years of stored camping equipment and miscellaneous church junk. This had been the source of all my suffering. Anglican damp wasn't an annoying but largely innocent smell. It was an indication that the whole building was flooded at its foundations. Our work together is well illustrated by that flooded basement. Many leaders are plagued by a vague sense of fraudulence, unworthiness, or incompetence. They work tirelessly to improve the public-facing aspects of their life and leadership, renovating, polishing, and sprucing wherever possible. Yet no matter how much effort they put in or achievement they realize, the same feelings reappear. According to the Journal of Behavioral Science, a sense of fraudulence is pervasive across our society. Impostor syndrome, as it's commonly known, affects approximately 70% of people at some stage of their life. Many reports suggest that it is particularly prevalent amongst young people who are going through life transitions, such as students or those who are moving into new positions or phases of leadership. If you're battling impostor syndrome, you may recognize the symptoms: feeling trapped in a cycle of insecurity, performance, and defensiveness. An article by the American Psychological Association concludes, often the people affected by imposter syndrome don't realize that they could be living some other way. Ultimately, this book seeks to take you on a journey with God through the locked door and into the shame basement in order that your sense of belonging might be restored and your leadership might be released from the grip of imposter syndrome. What could the outcomes be? A few months after our reclamation of the basement, a young man came to me after church. He was newly married and said, "Have you got anywhere in the church building that I can work out? My wife's really unhappy about me having all my weights in the living room." I didn't skip a beat in offering him free access to our new rooms now that they were dry and lit, although still slightly smelly. Over time, more people joined the workout sessions, and it became a huge comfort to me to know that every early morning a group of people were working out under the church building, listening to worship music and getting strong. Our destination in the power of belonging is not just to drain the shame basement, but to turn it into an integrity gym. This is a place of strength from which we can exercise our leadership confidently, because we've established 2 tracks of belonging. Firstly, that I belong within my spheres of relationship and leadership, and secondly, that I have a secure and infinite belonging.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?